I have Amy Thompson with me today. She's the development director for the Art Museum of Eastern Idaho. Amy, how are you today?
I'm great. Thanks so much.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for joining us yet again. We appreciate all the work that you're doing with the museum and everything.
Yeah, you bet. I love talking to BYU-I kids.
Let's go. That's awesome. So, Amy, obviously we've already had you on before talking about the museum and everything that's going on there. So before we get into, I guess, the main event that's going on now that you guys just introduced, can you just start by reminding listeners about, first of all, I guess, what the mission of the museum is and just what you guys have to offer right now in general, just kind of year-round kind of thing?
Yeah, sure. You bet. So we are a community museum, and that means that our mission is really education driven and based in accessibility. So we're always thinking about how can we engage more of the community, make sure that all of our community is able to benefit from the things that we offer. And we have a series of rotating exhibits. We often highlight local artists, but we also bring in art from around the world, and we do a lot of classes, workshops, things like that.
Awesome. Okay. So you guys have this new activity that's coming up soon, and it's going to be happening a few times. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so we just decided to start staying open late a few nights a year so that we can be available to all of the many youth groups that are in our area. We just realized we are working right now with our teen program, so that's something that's growing. And in discussion with those teens, we just realized we have this untapped opportunity to make ourselves available to a big group of the population there. So we're doing youth group nights, and it's really any type of youth group is, free to come on those evenings. And it's going to be different each time. So the next one is going to be November 18th. And so we've got our art and the animal exhibit happening, and the people that come, the teens that come, will get a tour of that exhibit. So we're open late these particular nights, and the first one's going to be November 18th. And we're inviting youth groups to come, and we're making it really affordable and hopefully interesting and enriching. Our teen program, like we call it Teens at TAM, so that's core group of leaders, is being trained to give tours. So I think it will be kind of interesting to have groups of teens led by teens experiencing the current exhibit. So they're being trained to do the tours. And then after that, we have an art project that they can do. And it's only $2 for each youth. And so hopefully that makes it really accessible. Any group that wants to come in should be able to do that. Definitely.
That's great. And what led to this exactly? Like, what inspired this? Was it an uptick in teens? Was it just your guys' maybe a goal or something? What was it that inspired these new youth nights?
So a combination of things, really. Part of it is that we have this teen program, and we're always talking about how do we engage that demographic, right, in our community. But then also, I happen to be in the Young Women's Presidency in our church. And so, I have some insight into the fact that we're always looking for something that we can bring the youth to that's really enriching. That's not just another, night of volleyball in the gym or something. And so, combining my insight into the needs of like our Young Women's organization and then also the mission of the museum, we just really saw this opportunity. And it's, of course, not just limited to Mutual and those type of youth groups, although there are a lot of those here in Idaho Falls, but any sort of after school art club, if we have like an athletic team that wants to do some sort of team outing or anything like that, it's really just we're staying open late because we know not everyone can get to the museum during school hours, right? Like from 10 to 5. So hopefully this makes it more possible for people to get in and experience what we have.
Yeah. So, when these youth groups go and take these tours, I guess what activities are available for them to do while they're there?
So we have our teen leadership group leading the tours, and they'll do a basic introduction to the youth group and tell them about the museum and then walk them through each gallery. And we try to make it engaging such that it's not just walking around giving a lecture about the art. But we actually practice this thing called deep looking, which a lot of museums do now. And it really just helps people slow down. There's some statistic about how long somebody looks at a piece of art, and it's like 7 seconds max or something like that. So,
Wow.
usually people just kind of skip through, but our team leaders are going to be like helping train these people who are maybe unfamiliar with art museums to slow down, to really look and engage with the art. And then we usually do some activity like, in one of the galleries, we might write a poem together as a group, or do a charade, or do something that kind of mixes up how you engage with the art. And then after that, we have a classroom, and that's where they can do the activity. And this month, we're going to do a collage. We'll have all the materials out. And so they should be able to go home with something that they've created.
That's great. So that's the hands-on project, correct?
Mm-hmm, exactly.
It's awesome. So you also mentioned this. It's interesting that it's teen-led. How do you guys, I guess, pick the teens that lead it, and then how does their training go?
So this is part of our Teens at TAM program, and there's an application process in the beginning of the school year, and then there's also just an ongoing enrollment. Anyone can be a part of it, but we have the specific leaders are chosen from the group of applicants. So we have the president and a marketing person and a treasurer. So that core group of leaders, they're the ones that are being trained. And each week we meet, and generally as part of that meeting, we go around and we practice giving tours to each other. We give each other feedback. And I've been a docent in the past and have been involved in education. So I'm the one that leads the teen program and just gives them feedback. And they're honestly doing great. I mean, having been a docent before, like, it's not as easy as it looks. A good docent makes it look really easy, but the teens really are doing a great job, and it's fun to see them grow and gain these leadership skills and presentation skills. And I think it's going to be fun for the youth groups to come and have their tour led by another teen. I think it just makes it more accessible, more interesting, and engaging.
That's great. And what is typically for teens, what is typically their favorite thing about the museum, whether it be an activity or an exhibit?
I think that everyone really loves doing the hands-on art. It's kind of nice to go through and see the art that's there, get inspired by it, see what other artists are doing, but ultimately being able to express yourself and get your hands dirty, get into some sort of project is really satisfying. I think that's the thing that people really take away and enjoy.
Mm-hmm. So if you had to sum up, Amy, the goal of these youth group nights in maybe one or two sentences, what would you say is the main goal of them?
Really, the main goal is to just reach as many youth as possible and let them know that the museum exists as a resource for them. We are a community museum, and we want people to feel like this is their museum. And that's our goal, is for them to develop a relationship with the museum, to see it as a resource for them, a place they can go to for inspiration, reflection, solitude, or camaraderie, right? Like, bring your friends or come all by yourself and just have a quiet afternoon. We really want it to be a resource for the youth in our community.
Mm-hmm. That's great. So what are is there an age range specifically, or is it just kind of it's geared toward teens, but anybody can come? Like, what are the ages exactly?
So our Teens at TAM program is for ages 13 through 18. And then the youth group nights are in that same age range, so like late middle school, high school, after school programs, church groups, things like that. And then, of course, the museum as a whole is open to the whole community. And then we do have classes geared towards different age groups. We have children's classes, teen classes, adult classes. Something for everyone.
Yeah, there you go. So how can teens sign up, or how can parents sign up their teens?
We've got a page on the website. So if we had teens that were interested in actually being part of the program and meeting with us every week and planning events, that would be awesome. We're always accepting new people for that. And they can find that on the website under the Learn tab, I think. And then if we have youth leaders that are interested in bringing their youth group to the museum for a night, They can also find that on the website under the teen tab. I think if you go under learn and then teens, you'll find the teen program and the youth group nights.
Mm-hmm. And remind us of the website name.
Oh, the website is theartmuseum.org. It's a good one.
Yeah, that's perfect. Easy to remember. Okay. And then just give us one last rundown of when these youth group nights are, because there's multiple dates. So when they are, what the cost was again, and then where the museum's at.
Yeah, you bet. Okay, so the youth group nights, the first one is on November 18th, and we have 2 slots from 6 to 7 p.m. or 7 to 8 p.m. Then we're doing another one on January 27th, another one on February 10th, and then there's one in May, and I'm not sure when that date is. But also, I should note that if somebody had a large youth group and those dates didn't work for them, they could call me and we could probably set up like a special one-time evening for them. So there's some flexibility there.
Okay.
And it is only $2 per youth or per person. Leaders get in for $2 too. And the museum is located in downtown Idaho Falls, right along the river.
Awesome. Okay. Anything else that you would add, Amy?
I think that's it. Thanks so much.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much for joining us, and we wish you the best of luck with these. They sound awesome.
Well, thanks so much, Chuck.